Hello and welcome to the Metabolic Balance ANZ podcast, where we share real stories and insights into the Metabolic Balance nutrition program. I am delighted to welcome today Catherine McCoy. Catherine is a practitioner with Metabolic Balance ANZ. Her clinic is actually in Canberra. However, she is joining me today from Vietnam, where she is traveling, but also working at the same time. So I'm really delighted that you've been able to take a little bit of time out of your day to join today and talk to me. Hello, Catherine.
Oh, hi, Cherry. Nice to see you. Yeah, and it's no problem at all. I know it's quite late where you are in Brisbane. It's 5 o'clock, or just after 5 here in Hoi An in Vietnam. So easy.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I don't mind. I don't mind staying up a bit late to chat to you at all. I just think it's so exciting that you're able to travel and work at the same time.
Yes. So I started to set up my practice to do just that just before COVID. Jeff and I were traveling a fair bit, and I closed my physical clinic there and moved it to a room at home in our apartment. And we started to travel, but people were very reluctant back then to do Zoom appointments. But with COVID coming in, everybody just got really so used to it. It became quite easy and much more doable. So yeah, so now we spend quite a lot of time traveling overseas and within Australia, and managing to run the clinic quite well, and manage all the metabolic balance clients that I have, along with my naturopathic clients.
So how many months of the year are you traveling, and how many months of the year are you in Australia? I mean, what would you say that divide is?
Yeah, so it does vary. We added up the number of nights for this financial year, so June to June, and it will be away for 6 months.
Wow, that's so exciting. Yeah. So you're traveling at the moment. I actually am super intrigued. You've been in Laos, I know that, and you're in Vietnam now. So you're going around that sort of region at the moment, Indochina.
And had some time, a few weeks there. Then we went to Laos, and we just arrived in Vietnam today. So we're here for a couple of weeks, and then we'll be heading home just before Christmas.
And so how many clients have you got at the moment that you are currently, active clients, would you say?
So active metabolic balance clients would be around about 25, 26 managing. Some of those are people that are doing a little reboot as well, but I think I've signed up 4 new ones while I've been away over the last few weeks. So four new metabolic balance ones. This time of year is a little bit tricky because of Christmas coming up. So there's a few clients that have decided to wait until after the new year, so I can manage them when I get home.
Yeah, that's very standard, isn't it? So you use metabolic balance, obviously, in your mobile clinic, and you're also a naturopath. So talk to me about what led you to bring metabolic balance into your business.
So, so I've had a naturopathic clinic running for nearly 2 decades now. And back, I think it was just pre-COVID, or it must be just when COVID hit. I think I've been a metabolic balance practitioner for about 4 years now. So 4 years. I was looking for something that would support my clients. I mainly work with women who are fatigued, perimenopausal, menopausal women, and most of those have metabolic issues. So I was looking for something that was very workable and science backed, and easy to apply, that and from the nutrition side of things, so looking at food, because I do believe food first, and then supporting with herbal medicine or nutraceuticals as needed. And yeah, I came across metabolic balance, and I talked to you, and I decided to take the leap in, and it was the best move I ever did, to be honest. with my practice and with the results that I get.
So tell me, what kind of results do you get? Just fill me in there.
So mostly, I think the most standout results are usually within the first couple of weeks when people just feel better. They it's not about the weight loss always. That's a good side effect, but it's the inflammation, the brain fog, the feeling back in control of their own bodies, being able to manage their mood better and hormone levels, etc. So I just find that happens fairly quickly at the beginning, and then it's a matter of me as a coach to actually keep them on track and to help them to bring it into their lifestyle. I often say to them, you need to use this as a template to lay over your life and just keep going. This is how we do things now, and this is how you eat, and so it has all the benefits of all the things that I've always been trying to do, but it's packaged up in a nice program that's easy to follow.
And how do you find? So, I mean, that's how I see things. We always want to sort of help people just see that it's for the long term. We're not doing a diet. We're actually really trying to say this is how you nourish your body. It's not hard. You don't need to feel deprived. You just need to recognize what your body needs, go with the flow, all that kind of stuff. I mean, how do you find most clients really respond to that?
So there's different personalities, obviously, that you have to deal with in any sort of coaching situation and as a practitioner. And as you know, when you are applying the program and helping people to change habits, change their lifestyle, you do need to take on a coaching role. And there's different personalities have different reactions. Most people are, they love the way that it makes them feel, so they embrace that, and it's quite an easy process of keeping them going and helping them to navigate the little speed bumps that come along, like Christmas that's coming up soon. Then there are other people that struggle with change, that really wanted to experience change in their body and sort of get the results that they signed up for, but they struggle with actually maintaining that change. And that can come from a lot of different areas, whether it's the people they surround themselves with, sort of their friends, their family, their work, stress levels. So I try to, help them navigate their way through that as well. So, but ultimately, it is up to them to actually make the change. I can't be there in their kitchen every day, but I try to keep it fun for them and make them realize that it's only food they're eating anyway. So it's just about applying the principles or the rules of the 8 rules of metabolic balance. If they can basically stick to those, they really can't go wrong.
Yeah, in your business, then in your practice, how did you find the sort of the real introduction and the sort of the use of metabolic, but as a naturopath, does it fit in very nicely with your natural day-to-day work?
Yes, it does. Most, I would say, everybody that walks in my door could benefit from metabolic balance. However, you need to be mindful that not everybody is looking for that when they come to see a naturopath, for certain reasons. So I do suggest it. Some people are not ready, but it does fit in beautifully with my particular practice, with my, the niche that I have, which is working with women who looking at metabolic health, and I even get the odd man coming in, not odd as in but weird, but yeah, men do come through for the program as well, and usually husbands and other people that are referred on like that. But yeah, I find that it just makes naturopathic treatment protocols more effective because it's taking care of the food. So you are looking at helping their digestion, helping their energy, and all the other things that we're trying to help, people with, to support people with going forward. Yeah. So I think it's the best thing I ever did. So now I take it everywhere with us, wherever we are. MB comes with us, and we apply those principles for ourselves while we're traveling.
And how do you find that? I mean, how do you find that? Because that's actually also one of the things that sometimes says, oh, well, how can I stick to a food list while I'm traveling? But you do it 6 months of the year. So what are your tips?
So there's a couple of different ways that we travel. This trip, we're actually in hotels the whole time. So that makes it completely different from when we're self-catering in Airbnbs, which we will be doing next year for about 4 months in Europe. So that we can shop and cook and cater for ourselves, but this trip we are looking at hotels and buffet breakfast, for 6 weeks. So that can be challenging. I don't, I find it. I just apply my portion size principles. I mean, it is tempting when you go down to a full spread of buffet and you've got everything in, especially in a different country, because there's a lot of different foods. We're in Asian countries at the moment, so there's a lot of Asian foods for breakfast as well, and they usually have the continental, the cold meats and the cheeses and the fruits and yogurts, and they have the pastries. All these countries around here were very much occupied by France at some stage, so there's still a lot of croissants and pastries and baguettes. So principally, I just look at the portion size. So if I will always start with a little bit of fruit and some yogurt, but it's not a full bowl, because I do want to experience some other foods there. So when I go up to a buffet, if I see something that I want, I just put a small spoonful on the plate, because it's usually just the taste that we're after. We're not looking at filling up on all the different foods. It's just sometimes we just want a taste of something. So I'll just put a small serving on the plate. And then, of course, when you're traveling, you're out walking and doing other things a lot, so you tend to work that off. And then, so lunches, Jeff and I share a lot of food. So we would very rarely order our own, big meal. So, we would, if we go to a restaurant for lunch or dinner, we would often share. So we just keep the actual portion sizes down that way. And the other rule that we stick to quite well is the 5-hour gap. So we're not snacking in between.
It's knowing your boundaries, isn't it? It's knowing your boundaries at the end of the day.
And saying that, we certainly don't, we don't not enjoy sitting down for a morning coffee at a cafe if it's presented, and then we might share a little pastry, but we don't do that every day. So, and it's just sort of sticking to that, because the reason we're traveling is we are foodies and we love food and the taste of food, but we're not there to actually fill up on it. And
I think what I'm getting as well from, and what I really believe and see in practice, is as soon as you really do know what works well for you and where you can sort of stretch things out and where you need to be focused and say, like you say, you really try to do the 5-hour rules, you try to stick to the portion, so you don't overeat. I'm sure you also do the first mass of protein, and that you don't eat late at night and drink your water. All of these things are just great common sense, but you have to learn really how they fit in well and why you keep going with them. And that's really where we come from when we support clients properly through the program.
yes, exactly. So with my clients, that's what I'm teaching them, is this is how you need to be thinking about food. It's fuel. There's also an element of the social side of food, and enjoying that. So that is important as human beings as well. But basically it's there to nourish your body. So you can lay over the 7 rules. I mean, the protein mixing one is the one that slides, as as you get further into the program. But all the other rules, it's just common sense. And when you do it day in, day out, it just becomes second nature. And that's what we do. Yeah, and it works.
And have you got any great client stories? Somebody that jumps to mind as to a great story that you can actually share about?
Oh, God, there's a few. There's a few. I think I've put a lot of people through the program now. I think you always know when they start referring their friends and family back to you because they want them to experience the same success and the same health benefits that they've received themselves. I really enjoyed, when you did the challenge, and Debbie, my client, and she went really well, and I really enjoyed it. And I think I was in Italy when you were doing that, and I was coaching her from there.
Yes, we had just to clarify, what we're talking about here. Last year we had a 12-week challenge where we had 10 people who all did the program together, and they recorded their journey, and we've got some of those recordings online. And Catherine supported Debbie, who she was a farmer, and she did exceptionally well, didn't she?
Yes, she did. Yeah, she was a great advocate for the program, and many. Yeah, she actually referred quite a few clients on from there, which was fabulous. Um, so yeah, there's just I can't think of any particular clients, but I think the ones that really come to mind are the ones that it has changed their life, also not just their weight but their health. So especially digestive health and inflammation, that they actually can start to feel better and to feel that they're back in control of what's going on in their body.
Yeah, I think that is though, but what you said about it is that's really why I am trying to do these podcasts as well, to share the stories that it's not about weight. It's actually about the life people get back and the life that they can experience because they're now feeling well, they're feeling balanced. Their health is not overtaking every other aspect of their life.
Yes, I would absolutely agree with that. And when they're in pain, when their health is, sort of foremost at their mind every single minute of the day for various symptom reasons, it's really hard to concentrate, to lose weight, or to feel better. They just seem to spiral. And I love Metabolic Balance for actually giving them that control back, or that way forward to actually. And sometimes it's just a slow, steady climb out of that spiral, and other times it's quite dramatic. Yeah, it just depends on where they are and what they're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. If we come back to sort of you as a practitioner and what you would have found as, for your business and being able to run a successful business, because being able to run a successful naturopathic business is the only way that you can actually really help people too. Because we go into this business because we do want to help people. I mean, would you say that's true for you too?
Yes, yes, we always. I think every practitioner, whether it's a naturopath or a nutritionist, starts out on the journey of studying because they really want to create change with themselves and family, but also for other people because they have that passion. And yeah.
How would you say you've experienced? So you were a naturopath for 15 years before you even introduced metabolic balance, and then you've introduced it now in the last 5 years. But how would you say it has transformed your practice? to be able to be, actually sustainable.
It's made it a lot easier to be a practitioner because it's given structure to that program, and it takes care of the food side of sort of somebody's health. But business wise, yeah, it was a big investment to start, and but I sat down and did my number crunching and worked out my return on investment, how that needed to look for me to actually invest in the training, and what it was going to give me. I obviously had a solid client base to start with, and so I think that was one of the big turning points. It was like when I decided that was something I was interested in doing to build my business. I sat down and did the numbers and went, okay, well, how many clients do I need to actually pay for this, and for how long would that take me? I think I gave myself 6 months to make the money back, and starting off at a very conservative program price to start with, because I was learning as well, and so giving myself the confidence. But I actually paid for it in the first month, so that was a bonus. And I did that by offering it to clients that are my naturopathic clients at a discounted rate again, because what I wanted to do was get the experience under my belt as well. So that gave me the momentum to then start just building on that. So yeah, and the rest is just gone ahead in leaps and bounds. And I don't do any marketing, so I'm not on social media. So I do have a newsletter list that I market to, but the rest is all word of mouth, or I get occasional sort of referrals through the Metabolic Balance website. And it just kind of goes on from there.
Yeah. Would you say, though, as well, just from a client point of view, the cost effective nature for them to do the program? What would you say? Because the program, the way I would say, it is an investment to initially do the program, but then overall the benefits, and then the reduced need for ongoing herbals or nutraceuticals and other medical bills means that it's often is a far cheaper option than standard naturopathic consult with supplements kind of approach.
Yes, it does take care of that. Usually there are the occasional client that comes through on Metabolic Balance that does not need any supplementation. Occasionally they might need an alkalizing support, or liver support, or depending on their blood test results or the symptoms or the health conditions that they're struggling with, they might need extra support. But over the long term, you don't want people on supplements forever. It's just to help them get to that result quicker. And so it is an investment, but I think it's a very worthwhile and money saving investment. And I tell clients, it's like, you've got this plan forever. I do give them quite an extensive folder with lots of handouts and recipes and other support material in there. They have their plan in there, and so they have that for the rest of their life. They may want to do an update on blood tests and get a new plan a few years down the track if they wish, but they do have that there. So I think that gives them the knowledge that and because they know how to do the cleanse and the strict 14 days, it does give them that knowledge and sort of the power to actually jump back in and do that as a reboot whenever they want. With that, sometimes they make a sort of a connection back with me to get support. Maybe they want to do the cleanse again. Other times they can actually do it by themselves.
Yeah, it's an education, isn't it? It's an education that once you know, and you can really you can really use it incredibly well.
Everything there in front of them forever. That that folder is there. So yeah. So logistically, when I'm traveling, I have people in Australia just post out the folder for me. So that's a tricky thing. It's actually one of my sons at the moment doing that job for me. So that the folders are all made up, ready to go and packaged up. So with their cleanse, supplements and a herbal tea and everything else wrapped up in a folder in bubble wrap, and they post it out. And then because I'm not there to print off their plan, that gets emailed to them just before I present the plan. But yeah, that works quite well. So that's easy. I can still do that.
So if you had a message, if you had a message to, well, first of all, a practitioner who is really wanting to build their business and support their clients in with food first and personalized nutrition, what would you say about thinking about metabolic balance?
I would recommend that they really seriously look into doing the training as an investment in their own business, and looking at where they're going to source their clients from. They only need probably 5, maybe 6 clients to actually get that return on investment, and then that will actually then sort of snowball and start to generate sort of more leads, more and more referrals from there. I would absolutely advise any practitioner that would be the way to go, because it's done wonders for my business, for my confidence as well, in being able to sort of support clients in looking at their food, because I know it is all science based. I don't have to work out a diet plan for them and look at specific foods, sort of supporting whatever condition, the health condition that they may have. It's all done for me. So it's just, what I do to add on to that, to the Metabolic Balance program, is I do supply, lots of recipes, sort of another sort of habit trackers and all sorts of other things to actually help that habit side and the mindset side of it. But a lot of practitioners don't necessarily do that and still have a wonderful practitioner business as well. So my advice would be, sit down, do your number crunching, work out how you're going to pay for get that return of investment, and do it, because they won't look back.
Yeah. And if we've got clients listening to this, because this podcast does go out to non-practitioners as well, so clients who are thinking about, is metabolic balance a worthwhile investment for me, for my health? What would you say to a client who is thinking, I'm not sure if I might have chronic health issues, I might have gut issues, I might have any kind of pain or discomfort? What would you say?
What I would say to a client that was considering doing the Metabolic Balance program, for whether it's for weight loss or for health reasons, and they were hesitating because of the cost, mostly is usually the stumbling block for a lot of people is it is an investment in their health, and they will get the results if they can find a way to just get a deposit together and get started, and find a practitioner that will help them to do it that way. Once they start getting the results, I think the money will just flow. They'll just won't hesitate about that. And it is an investment for the rest of their life. They will always have their information, their folder, and that empowers them to actually take back control of their health. So yes, it's life-changing for many people that I've seen.
I think it's also that recognition that people spend an awful lot of money on their ill health. Often the cost involved to be sick, with all of the bills that happen because, either you can't go to work or you have to buy extra pharmaceuticals, or, you have to buy new clothes because old ones aren't fitting anymore, or whatever it is, whatever the cost is, or you have to see other chiropractors or physios because your body's aching and pain and all this kind of stuff. Just the cost of pain is enormous, and that is often where I say it's MB is actually often by far the cheapest approach, really, for the results you get, for the real results you get.
I would absolutely agree with that, Cherry. It is life changing for most of the clients that I've put through. It is absolutely life changing, and they realise that that they through working with their doctors, they may be able to come off their medication. They may be able to resolve a lot of issues that they've struggled with for years and years. Seen so many people being on FODMAPs, things like FODMAPs, for a long, long time, which is never a good idea or recommended, but for the long term. But yeah, just getting the right foods that their bodies needed has given them their life and their choices back. Improvement with sleep is another one that I see a lot of. The brain fog, being able to work more efficiently, doing their job, sort of getting more production. It's the list goes on. It's fabulous, and you can travel the world and feel amazing all the time.
Like you're doing. It's wonderful. It's wonderful.
I'm Jeff's nearly 70. I'm heading pretty close to that now myself. But, we can still, climb all the steps and up to the lookouts and, walk for, I don't know, 15 kilometres a day around a city looking at different things. It's, which is, that was our aim. And so I think, having the food and given the structure of laying that over our lifestyle like a template has made a big difference in our own lifestyle as well. So, and I just keep working. And Jeff's retired, although I say that he has a full-time job looking after me because he's the travel manager. He does all the logistics of it. But saying that, I do work while I am traveling, but I'm not working all the time. I'm not sitting here in front of a computer.
You're still helping people while you travel. That's the bit I just love, because it is about helping people. We want to help people.
Exactly. So, if I can put aside an hour a day, sort of at the end, maybe from 4 to 5 p.m. of a day to do consults, or sometimes it's an hour and a half. Occasionally I'll do some in the morning. And, I can make a difference to people's lives and still live my lifestyle. It works beautifully. Everything works. Yeah, it's all seamless.
It's great. And where are you off to next? So you're in Vietnam. Where are you off to next before we finish?
So we're in Vietnam at the moment. We're in Hoi An. We have been in Hanoi, and after this, we go to Ho Chi Minh. Then we will be flying home for Christmas. We have a big Christmas dinner planned with a lot of children and grandchildren going to be there. And then in February, we head to the UK and Wales, and then we will be spending about 6 weeks in a little village in France on the Dordogne River, and then we will spend 6 weeks in Tuscany in Italy, and then we will be home in June next year. And so, yeah, we'll be away for 4 months in that trip. So, yeah, and then we don't know where we haven't sort of decided what we will be doing in the second half of next year yet, but I'm sure maybe some travel within Australia.
Lovely. Thank you. Thank you so much, Catherine. It's been fabulous to talk to you and get your insights.
Yeah, thank you, Cherry, for the opportunity.
Yeah, and safe travels. Enjoy, keep on helping people, and I can't wait to catch up with you again when you're back in Australia. That'll be amazing. Take care.
Absolutely. Thanks, Cherry.
And if you would like to know more about metabolic balance, There is more information on the website, so www.metabolic-balance.com.au, and there is also information in the show notes as well. Thank you so much, and we look forward to talking to you again next time.